Alright friends, we will start with another video, and our case 2 is when bridge is just outside transition of curve, which is basically the abutment of the bridge is few meters, or let's say 30, 40, 50 meters outside the TTP1 of or TTP2 of the curve. So we have this case, this bridge is in Sultanpur Utratiya section of Lucknow division, and the bridge number is 380 down. It is on waterway named Kadunala, and this is towards down, this is towards up, that is increasing kilometer direction has been shown. So accordingly, this is A1, that is abutment A1, and this is A2, that is abutment A2. It is a 45 meter open web girder, so only two abutments we have. There is no pier inside, and our main concern here is correcting the approach alignment. So as you can see, this is the photo of right rail when the person is standing and looking towards upside. So this is right rail and this is left rail. So this is the photo of right rail showing the alignment of right rail. This is the photo showing the alignment of left rail. So as you can see, there is kinking here, and if we view the bridge from further away, like something like 150 to 200 meter away, if we click the photo, then we can see that the alignment was something like this, but track has kinked something like this. So we have to correct this alignment. There is TTP1 of the curve here, that is 20 down, and which is approximately 77 meters ahead of the bridge. So we can say that the bridge is 77 meters away from the terminal tangent point of the curve. Now we have to correct this alignment, and we have shown another video in which we had corrected only the transition portion. That is to say, we had in this, okay, let me again briefly give an overview of the AutoCAD data or total station data. This is abutment A1 and this is abutment A2. All right. So this is abutment A1 here, this is abutment A2 here. This is 45 meters distance that you can see in the AutoCAD file. This is A1 and this is A2, and towards this is the increasing kilometer, and as you can see, this is the straight line, and the track has shifted towards left, slightly towards left because of the curve. So this is actually a reverse curve, but the central straight portion is very large in this case, approximately 190 meters. So we will not concern with the second curve. Our concern here is to redesign the first circular curve so as to correct the alignment. The first approach that we had used was correcting only transition portion. That is to say, this is the curve. Let me also show. This is the curve here. M7 is the -7 station, TTP1 is the terminal tangent point, and the required slew to left to correct with respect to ideal tangent alignment, and then we had used cubic parabola formula. We had factored both of these mathematics that is here. We had factored both of them, this data from AutoCAD and this data using the mathematical formula, and we had found the overall required transition up to CTP1, which is this point, because TTP1 to CTP1 is our transition portion. And after this, we had linearly tapered it out. And divided it into stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 and stage 4 tamping, because the maximum value was 200 mm. We cannot slew more than 50 mm in each case. So that you can refer to the previous video. Now we will try to solve the same problem by redesigning the complete curve using the upload function and using the plugin file FLSP, which is used for designing curves, circular curves in AutoCAD. So as we know, this is A1, this is A2, this is -7 station, and likewise we have here TTP1, that is station number 0. So how do we proceed? So in FLSP command, I will again revise it. We will load the app. We will load the FLSP file, and just a short revision: to draw a reverse curve, to draw a circular curve, we need two terminal tangents. Let's say these are the two tangents, and we need to be sure that both of them lie in the same plane. So using control Z, we can see that the start Z and end Z of both lines are 0. Then we will load the FSPI command. We will select the first tangent, we will select the second tangent, and let the curve radii is let's, for example, 1 degree to 7.50. Transition length, let us take it like 50 meters, and here you go. So this is the curve that it has drawn, and just a minute. What is the length of this? Actually, since the angle was quite large, so we can't see. We can only see the circular portion here. See, so the transition portion cannot be seen because the length of lines were very small. So let us repeat it. Actually, let us increase the length of the line, and also let us reduce this angle. Then we can see it correctly. Again, let us run FSPI command. Select first tangent, select second tangent, other values will remain same, and here you go. So this is in magenta is the circular portion, this in yellow is the transition portion, and this also is transition portion. And if you want to cross check the length of the transition portion, you can find the distance, and that is 50. That is what we had entered in the command. Alright, 50. And the length of the circular portion will be, in this case, 244 meters. Alright, so that is the way we use this FLSP function, and now we will proceed in this case. So we know that the overall length of the curve is 130 meters. That is, it consists of 13 stations from TTP1 to TTP2, and so the first iteration that we are going to do is you can see the column number C, D, E, F, using station number 27 as and a point on first terminal tangent offset from station number 6 point as point lying on second terminal tangent, and transition length 30 meters. This is the complete description of the first option that we are going to try. So basically what is happening is we know the first terminal tangent alignment, because the first terminal tangent must align with the bridge alignment, and bridge alignment is best defined by the alignment of the A1 A2. That is, the line drawing abutment A1 to abutment A2 defines the bridge alignment as best, and even in that, the data that we have lifted, I mean to say the points, these points are the points of the rail inner edge. Let me show you the photo. This slide. This is left rail, and this is where just a minute. Yeah, rail inner edge using the thumb, and this is where the pole of the prism is placed, and these are the points that we have in our AutoCAD file. All right, so let us get back to what we are talking about. This is the first tangent and first terminal tangent, and it is basically, we can redraw. Let me redraw, because the purpose is to tell what is going on. So we had taken 3 points for alignment. So we have taken 3 points for A1 and A2. We select the center of this and join it to the middle one, like this one, somewhere this, and this represents our bridge alignment. And then we will extend it. Yeah, this one, and let's give it a black color. All right, so this is our alignment of the terminal tangent TTP1. And as we had seen, to draw a curve we need two tangents, first tangent and second tangent. So here we have the first tangent. To define second tangent we need 2 points which lie on the second tangent. So since we know that the straight portion between the first circular curve and the second circular curve, which is like this, is very large, 190 meters, and we have taken data till station number 27 here, 26, 25. So we have selected the station number 27 as the good point. And to note the second good point, since we know that this curve has length of 130 meters, so the center of the curve will be between station number 6 and station number 7, that is 65 meters ahead of the TTP1. So what we have done is we will select a point. Let me copy this. Alright, actually for all the 5 options, first option, second option, third option, fourth option, fifth options that we have analyzed in this one, this is the first option, this is the second option, this is the third option, this is the fourth option, this is the fifth option. All the calculations I have already done here, but to show the steps we will redo it. And so first, let me delete these initial and these unnecessary values here. We will start with a fresh data so you don't get confused. Alright, now all we have is raw data. Alright, this also let me delete. All we have is raw data here. Let's remove the straight line also. So if you can see, these are the points that you will get from the total station data DWG file. Okay, and here is A1 and here is A2. All right, and this represents the full, this is what you will get after you draw the circular curve. Okay, and this was A2, but we will do the steps. So first let us draw the first tangent, which is starts from A1 and then goes up to A2. This is ideal alignment of the first tangent. We need to extend it further, so we will draw a line here, then select the line, then use extend command, roll over this, and this line is extended. Okay, so this represents our first tangent alignment. For second tangent alignment, we know that station number 27 lies inside the straight portion and it is the farthest point away from the curve, so we will select it as good point. And as you know that if we draw a circular curve, then center of the curve is at the apex. At the apex means just nearest to the apex. Alright, just nearest to the apex. So if the curve is like this, so center of curve will be at an offset from the apex. So in this case, we know that TTP1 is here. This is our TTP1 0 station, and TTP2 is at station number 13 here, 13. So our center of curve if all these locations are actually correct will be between 6 and 7. So what we will do, we will draw a line from the point 6 to point 7. Again, I would repeat that these are the values lying. Let me give it a second. Another color, blue color. These are the points lying on railhead inner edge. Then we will draw its center. We will locate its center, and then we will draw an offset from center on this first terminal tangent. So this was the first terminal tangent, and this line represents offset from the center of the curve. And next we will trim the remaining portion of the terminal tangent, and now we will join this point with the station number 27. Directly we will join it, and now this represents our second terminal tangent. Alright, so this is second terminal tangent and this is our first terminal tangent, and we have to draw the curve between these 2 points. We will cross check by control 1, and we see that the start Z varies and end Z also varies. We will make it 0 and Z also 0. Close this. Now we can draw the draw the curve using this selection. We will load the FSPI command. We will select the first tangent. We will select the second tangent. You can see here it is asking curve radii. We will use 1750. Transition length in TMS data was 30 meters. As you can see, TTP1 is at station number 0, CTP1 is at station number 3. So we will select the transition length as 30 meters. Second transition length also 30 meters, and you see the color has changed. The straight line ends here, that is the first terminal tangent ends here, second terminal tangent ends here, and in this portion you see is the curve that has been drawn. This represents the circular portion of the curve, and this represents the transition portion, first transition of the curve, and this represents the second transition of the curve. And let us also cross check the length of the line length. So this is the first transition, it is 30 meters, which is correct. We press the space button to repeat the command, and then again we measure this is also 30 meters, and we find the arc length, and that is 18 meters. So we have drawn the curve. We know the first tangent, we know the second tangent. Now we can find, or rather another way to say is, this represents the ideal, this line here represents the ideal alignment of the curve, or ideal alignment of the track, and these are the actual locations of the points. So that is to say, if we want to know how much should this station number 9 should be slewed, so we need to find this offset value, and that we are getting as 160 mm. This is 160 mm at station number 9. Here station number 9, 238. Is some error, I think. Let me just pause the video and see why it is so. Alright, yeah, the mistake that was done by me was I had drawn it for 1 degree curve. Actually here it is 1.5. Actually here we have a curve of half degree, that is 0.5 degree. So we will do Control Z, and yeah. So again we have this first terminal tangent, we have the second terminal tangent. We will redraw the curve. We will reload FSPI command. Now we will select the first tangent, then we will select the second tangent. Here it is also second tangent, so we will select second tangent. Curve radii was actually 3500 meters, and transition length was 30. Again second transition length 30, and now we have this curve. So this is first terminal tangent, this is second terminal tangent, this is the central circular portion, This is first transition portion and this is second transition portion, and this represents the ideal alignment of the track. And let's say if we see here station number 6, present location of station number 6 is here, but actually it should be here. So what is the slewing required at station number 6 is, we will find this aligned gap, and this .247 and here 247. Okay, so the values are same. So this is the alignment. Okay, so station number 6 needs to be slewed towards left by value 247 mm, and that is what we have well entered the values here. 247, station number 6 needs to be slewed to left by 247 mm. Likewise, we will find all these values from station number -7 to station number 27, and that calculation I have already done for you in this second location here. It's basically same curve, and the center of the circular portion is here. As you can see, center of circular portion is here, which is basically between the station number 6 and station number 7. So now let's review it. In this case, arc length is 66 meters and 43 centimeters, 66.43. Here also it's 66.43. Transition length is 30. Second transition length is also 30. Overall length would be slightly less than 130. How much less? TTP 2 was supposed to be here, but it ends slightly before than that, 2 meters before than that. And TTP 1 was supposed to start here, but it has actually started here in our new design, 1.5 meters ahead. So more or less it satisfies the criteria. TTP 1 and TTP 2 are almost at the same location. We have also found the required slew values, which are quite large. The maximum slew value is, in this case, we have 248 mm. It shows how much effort we need to put in. 248 mm slew means you will have to run the tamping machine 5 times, because in one tamping it cannot implement more than 50 mm slew. We also need to remember that we have OHE beside the track, and distance from OHE must not be less than 2800 mm in general, and these are the OHE distances before slewing. We already had this data of OHE, and what is the chainage of the OHE in meters, and which is the nearest curve each station, and what is the distance before slew. So these values we have filled in ahead of the nearest station number here. So like ahead of the, in front of rather, -7 station, there is an OHE. We have not placed OHE number here, but we have simply written the distance in mm from track center. So this was 3000 mm. Just near station number -1, we had an OHE which was at a distance of 3120 mm. And while it may not be clear in the photo, I must be having the photo also for this. Let me show you the photo. So all right, this so see, this is looking towards Lucknow, looking towards upline. This is A2, and behind is A1, and as you can see, the OHEs are erect. OHE masts are erect left side of the track. All right, so and this track center distances that we see here, these distances are from track center, track center यहाँ पे है और OH यहाँ पे है, and this is the distance that you have seen. And if you slew the track towards left, this distance will reduce, and that is what has happened here. M7 you slew to left by 13 mm, this distance will reduce equal to 3000 minus 13. Alright, this will become 2987, which is more than 2800, so no problem. This here, original distance was 3120 mm. If we implement this first option, then slew will be 124. So reducing we'll have to reduce this value, and then you will get 2996 mm. Likewise, this value you reduce 216 from 3000, then you reduce 241 from 2920. Likewise, so you will see that at 3 OHE's locations the distance has reduced much below 2800 mm. So this is not acceptable. We must not propose a solution in which OHE masts have to be relocated. So that is why we have repeated our solution again. So this time what we have done, we have selected station number 23 as good point for the second terminal tangent, and station number 6.5 also. So that is to say, we will draw the circular curve of half degree using this formula. We will not change the transition length will remain as 40 meters. So then we will find a solution, and then we'll also see the OHE distances, final OHE distances, then again final OHE distances in third option, again final OHE distances in fourth option, and that is how we proceed. So let's go step by step, so there is no confusion what we are doing. Why we have selected station number 23? Because we don't have data beyond station number 27. So we will copy again the original file, place it here, because this represents our second solution. Let us delete this. Alright, let us redraw our first tangent. Let us extend this first tangent. Alright, they may not be in the same plane or what? Let me check. Control 1, we have to make them in same plane. Alright, so this is our first tangent. Second tangent, to draw second tangent we will have to find a point between 6 and 7, because that is where we propose lies the center of our curve. We will mark this point, and then we will draw an offset from center of the curve to first terminal tangent. This point represents the offset on first terminal tangent from the center of the curve, and then we will draw this to station number 23, which is our good point. Alright, so station number 23 is our good point here, because we have to do trial and errors. Okay, we have to do trial and errors. For every new orientation or for every new alignment of the second terminal tangent, you will get a different solution. So this is our second trial actually, and let us trim this one. Let us trim this. Right. So just stick here. All right. is some error here. Let me see, it's not selecting. Just a minute, let me pause it again. Okay, so we have our first tangent, we have our second tangent. First tangent starts from A1 to A2, and then we extend this line representing our first ideal tangent, and then second tangent starts between the curve between 6 and 7 stations, and it ends at station number 23. So these two are good points. We will load the fspi command. We will select first tangent, then we will select second tangent, and other values will remain same, and this is what we get the curve. So this is first tangent, this is first transition length, this is circular portion, this is second transition length, and this is the second terminal tangent. This represents the ideal track alignment, and for that ideal track alignment, these are the required slew values. And another thing that we have shown here is, for this case of solution, TTP2 is here, TTP2 is here, station number 13 is here, but our curve is ending slightly before, slightly here, at a distance 2.88 meters behind. And in this case, TTP1 was here, but when we solved it, TTP1 starts here, 2.2 meters, so approximately 5 meters. So our overall length of curve has reduced by 5 meters, which is not much of a concern, because overall length of the curve was supposed to be 130 meters. Instead of that, we are getting 125 meters. No big issue with that. What we have to see is what are the slew values and what is its effect on the OHE distances. So these values we fill in the Excel file. And this is the this is our case here, and we see that the maximum slew is 238 mm at station number 6. We need to know what is the maximum slew, because that will determine how many number of times the tamping has to be done. So let us cross check. So station number 6 is here 6, and the slew is 238 mm. Slew is 238 mm. Alright, so station number 6 is good to have been somewhere here. We slew it towards left. OHE distances will reduce. So let us also see what are the OHE distances, what is the effect on OHE distances. So this represents the final OHE distances if this solution was implemented, and we see in this case also there are 3 OHEs which will have an issue of track center distance less than 2800 mm. So this solution is also not acceptable per se. We will have to repeat the solution again. So we will repeat the solution again, and these are the 3 other solutions that you should try. I will speed up the recording actually, fast forward. So what we have done in third option is we have selected station number 9, offset from station number 9 as the point lying on second terminal tangent. And why we have done this needs to be explained. Yeah, so we need to explain why we have in third option moved our center of curve towards upline. That is we have done because let me show you by an example. Let's say these are your terminal tangents, and this is your curves alignment like this. Let me draw an arc, 3-point arc, this point, and no, not this. We have to draw a start, center, and start, center, start, end, start, end, start, end direction. Yeah, so let's say this is our curve. Let's change its color. Now if the center of the curve is shifted towards this, what will happen is our so we will do a third trial. In third trial, we will again use station number 27 as our good point, and we will use station number 9 and offset from station number 9 as another good point of the second terminal tangent. Why we are doing this? Because we see that in second part of the curve, that is at CTP2, at TTP2, and then ahead of TTP2, the OHE distances are being compromised. So we will move the whole curve towards this so that these distances reduce. That can be explained figure wise also, or we will just see, and this will be the result that we will get. So station number 9, we will take an offset from station number 9 on first tangent, and we will draw that point to station number 27. So let's do that. So this is our third trial result. We will repeat our third trial. We will copy the original data, place it here, delete unnecessary values, and we will draw the first tangent from A1 to A2. We will extend it then our second tangent is from station number 27 to an offset on the first tangent, that is first tangent to an offset on the first tangent from station number 9. Basically station number 9 is our new center of curve. Actual center of curve was at station number 6.5, but since it was not giving a very good solution, we are shifting the offset by 2.5 stations, that is by 25 meters. So we will draw an offset from station number 9 on the first tangent, and then we will trim this extended part. Then we will draw a line from this offset point to station number 27. This becomes our second terminal tangent. So this is our second terminal tangent, this is our first terminal tangent. Center of the tangent is at offset from 9. Let us cross check its z values vary, so let's make both of these 0, and then let us use our FSPI command. FSPI select first tangent, select second tangent, curve radii and everything remains same, and this is our curve. So this is first terminal tangent, this is transition, this is circular portion, this is second transition, this is second terminal tangent. Center of the curve is right at an offset from 9. Basically in this case we have moved the curve from here to here towards LKO side, towards upside, and let us see what is the required offset at station number 9. What is required slew? We need to slew, because this is the new correct alignment. We need to slew the track at station number 9 by 100 mm, and it should be show here also. It's coming 91 mm. There is some so actually we need to first delete it. First let us delete this line, and then find the offset. Should give a proper value. It's 1 only. There is, in this case it is coming 91. This is actually inaccurate, I believe. Yes, this is 100, and at station number 8 it is 37, at station number 10 it is 151. So okay, we get these values as required slews, and we have done all these calculations just to show you that both are same actually. Here curved circular length is 79.908, here also circular length is 79.908, transition length is here 30, here also 30, in this case also transition length is in this case also transition length is 30, first transition length, and then second transition length is also 30. And these are the required slew values that we have found here. It has already been calculated, and then we see that from station number -7 to station number 7 all the required slews are towards left, and from station number 8 to station number 26 all the slews are towards right. That is, in this case we will see that OHE distances will actually increase. So our choice was right because we wanted to increase the OHE distances in this region ahead of the curve because it was coming less than 2800. So now we will fill these values. This is our third option, the present option. Like station number 7, this is station number 7, slew is 25 mm to left. So let's just cross check it. It should be same. See, 25 mm towards left, station number 7. Station number 8, here slew of 37 mm to right, and we see here station number curve station number 8 and slew of 37 mm to right. This represents slew to right, and maximum slew we see is 293 mm at station number 14, which is towards right. Let us see station number 14. This station number 14 slew required. This is present location. This is new location. This distance is 293 mm, and that is what we see, 293 mm at station 14. This is required slew towards right, and maximum slew towards left is 166 mm, which is at station number 2. Station number 2, 166 mm. This is 166 mm, and this is station number 2. Now we will see what is its implication on OHE distances. OHE distances, here original distance was 3120. We have to reduce it by 124. We get 2996. Here, let's see here, station number 70. OHE distance was 2800 mm. We slew towards right. That is to say, in this photo, we slew the track towards right, towards this direction. So the OHE is towards left actually. So the track center distances is actually increase, and that is what we have done here. We add 215 in 2800, that becomes 3015. So in our third solution, maximum slew is 166 mm to left, 293 mm to right, and all the OHE distances will come more than 2800 mm. So in a way, this can be an ideal solution no problem with that. All we need to do is shift the TTP1, CTP1, TTP1, CTP1, CTP2, TTP2 towards upside by 25 meters, because we have selected station number 9 as our new center of curve. Earlier it was center of 6 and 7 in first two solutions. Center of 6 and 7 was the center of curve. We have drawn the curve using, as you see, station number 9 is the apex point. That is why it has been shown by shaded by light blue here. And we will get a solution which will satisfy all our criteria, except for the fact that the required slew is very large. It is 293 mm, so tamping machine would have to run 6 times. Again, if we compare solution number 2 and solution number 3, we see that when the intersection of first and second tangent was taken at station number 6.5, OG distances, these last 3 OG distances were coming less than 2800, and if we used station number 9, then last 3 OG distances are coming much more than 2800. Here it is 2696, here it is 3071. What we actually needed was somewhere around 2800 mm. So common logic suggests that if we used another station number between 6.5 and between 9, let's say station number 7.5 we have used, so we have repeated the whole solution. Everything is same. Station number 27 will be the good point, and second good point for the second terminal tangent will be an offset from station number 7.5. This solution. So we have repeated this, and in this case first will be good, but second 2 OH distances will be not acceptable. But before doing that, let us also draw it, not to do too much short circuiting, otherwise you may get confused. So we will do a third solution. We will repeat it again. Let me just select this only, copy selection, and this. So these values are deleted. This is by default, we know that it is our first tangent. We will extend it. Second tangent is from 7.5. That is to say, our first tangent will end between 7 and 8. And this is 7, this is 8. This represents our location of the center of the curve, and a point on this line near this represents end of the first terminal tangent. To locate that point, we will draw station number 7 and 8 by a straight line, and we will then draw its center, rather locate its center, which is here. Alright, then we will draw an offset from here on the first terminal tangent. Since it is not selecting, we will see that both Z are 0, and then we will draw an offset. Then we will trim out this portion. So first terminal tangent starts from bridge A1 of bridge to A2 of bridge. It is extended forward and it ends between station number 6 and 7. Second terminal tangent starts from this central point and goes up to station number 27. So now we have two terminal tangents. Let us just see if control 1, let us see that both Z are 0. Okay. Now we will draw the curve using the same FSPI function. This is first tangent, this is second tangent, other values remain same, and this is our curve. Now let us just cross check the value of arc length is same. This is 71.331 and this is also 71.331. So these both solutions are same actually. All the calculations of required slew values have been done here. As you know, of course, this transition lengths would be of each 30 meter. All the required slews are towards left. As you can see, this is the fourth solution. All the slew values are towards left, slew to left. Maximum slew is 175 mm at station number 4. 175 mm, this at station number 4. Overall length of the curve is 71 plus 30 plus 30, that is 131. Approximately same as 130. Center of curve has moved by 10 meters because as per site data, center of track was between 6 and 7, but what we have drawn is center of track is between 7 and 8. So if we implement this solution, we will have to repaint our station numbers on rail web at site, move everything by 10 meters ahead. Okay, now let us see what is its implication on OHE distances. So we see that in our fourth solution, this 7.5, you can see here, OHE distances first of the last three, this one is fine, which is at CTP 2, but last two are still less than 2800. So let us again go back to our second and third. This was second, this was second. In this, last three were less than 2800, this was third. Last three were more than 2800, this was fourth solution. In this, last two are more than 2800, less than 2800, sorry. So we have to select a point somewhere between these two, somewhere between 9 and somewhere between 7.5. So we have repeated the solution again using an offset from station number 8. That is to say, we have shifted the apex of the curve or center of the curve by 15 meters ahead. Center of the curve was originally at 6.5 and we have moved it to station number 8. Other parameters are same. We are still using the 30 meter as transition length. Curve is still half degree only. Alright. So we repeat it by same way. We will use the same method for drawing the curve. And this will be the final solution here. I am not repeating it again because the method is same. This is our fifth solution. I would show the center of the curve. So this is the circular portion and its center is just as you can see at station number 8, at an offset from station number 8. Method was same. Required slew at station number 8 is 63 mm to left. So just a cross check for you. Let me hide the first 4 solutions. No, not all the 4. Let me just hide the first 2 solutions. Hide. Slightly increase the visibility. Okay. So station number 6 is here. Station number 6 is here, and required slew is 126 in the 5th option. Station number 6 is here and required slew is 126. Station number 8 is here and required slew is 63. Station number 8 is here and required slew is 63. So see, these values match. This data basically has been filled using this AutoCAD information of required slew values. Let us make another cross check. This is station number 20, required slew is 26 mm to right. This is station number 20, required slew is 26 mm to right. Slew to right, 26 mm. 26 mm. So These are the required slew values. Maximum slew is 167 to left, and in solution number 4 maximum slew was 175 mm to left, and in third solution is 293. So we see that slew values has reduced, and we see that the criteria for our final OHG distances have also been satisfied. They are slightly more than 2800 mm, and at nowhere it is less than 2800 mm. So we can say that this fifth solution is the most ideal solution. We should implement this solution at site, and what will happen is that this straight alignment will get corrected also. We will have our circular portion also. Our OHG distances will also be not compromised. All we need to do is shift our center of curve from station number 6.5 to station number 8. That is to say, we will have to erase all the markings on the rail web, all the markings of station numbers on rail web, and repaint those stations. That is to say, जहाँ पे हमारा अभी करंट में TTP1 है, like करंट में TTP1 हमारा यहाँ पे है, alright, करंट में TTP1 हमारा यहाँ पे है, which is at a distance of 77, which is at a distance of 77 meters. Let me show you. It is at a distance of 77 meters from the last channel sleeper. This is our TTP1. We have to find the land distance. See, this is 77.76 meters. We have to increase this by 15 meters, so it will become 92 meters, 92.7 meters. So we will repaint our curve data. Most probably what would have happened that during laying of track and during painting of the curve station numbers, some error might have happened by the painter. We will repaint those values by shifting the curve 15 meters ahead. Overall length of the curve, if we see, let us see, overall length of the curve, central portion, that is circular portion, is 74 meters. Second and first transition are each 30 meter, because that was the input value. Overall length of the curve becomes 134 meter, which is very comparable to, which is very near to 130. So more or less it is same. No issue with that. That is how we proceed. I think this concludes this presentation, this video recording here. I have not shown calculations for the fifth part. As I have not drawn the curve for the fifth part, but I think you can draw it using previous examples that I had shown. And this is our final solution. So let me hide the other solutions also. So this is our final solution. The fifth solution was the best solution, and maximum slew was 167. That means to say we will have to run the tamping machine 4 times. So we can find the required slew values for each tamping by dividing these values by 4. So you can see this value is equal to S6 divided by 4. S6 is this value. So that is how. See, all the values are divided by 4, and we get the slew to left and also slew to right. Like this is, here we need here total slew required is 92, and in first run we divide by 4, we get 23. So we will run the machine using these slew values for these stations, and we will also correct the station number painting required to be painted on site. We will also correct the TMS data if necessary. Thank you.